Hello my dear gardeners, it is time to pot my rose. This girl, she looks really healthy. Right now we have the beginning of October and all my roses are, some of them are really bad with black spot, but this girl, not a single spot. So I'm hoping, I don't know the name of this rose, but I'm hoping for a really good disease resistance. Maybe it's Cordes rose, I don't know. Okay, so my best potting mix for roses. And when we are, there are so many mixes and different gardeners love different mixes, and a lot depends what type of plant you're going to plant in your pot and what type of soil you have. I like to use at least 40% of local garden soil. And we here in Connecticut, we have very sandy soil, so it is very fast drainage. And I understand if people have heavy clay soils, absolutely they cannot put that soil into the pots because clay soil is too heavy. Generally, the average soil is heavy for pots. It becomes too prone to kind of gooing together and not letting all the water go through. But our soil here in Connecticut is really good garden soil. I have it right here. So at around 40%, I like to add that. And then what else I do here? I add a little bit of cow manure. And cow manure is very good, organic. What it does, it adds to the health of the soil, brings natural matter, right? Our roses love to eat, love all the nutrients. Micronutrients, I rely on our garden soil. Cow manure brings a nice structure of the soil and also bring nutrients in. Also, when you look at the label, cow manure really is not big in nutrients. It's 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So definitely I will be adding supplemental feeding to our roses, since this space is restrained space, right? So conditions here have to be extra nice for the rose. Rose cannot reach out far away with its roots and find nutrients itself, right? So we have to provide space here, has to be meeting at least 3 requirements. It has to have excellent drainage. Rose belong to a type of plants which love good drainage, and majority of plants in our gardens do love good drainage. Then rose loves soil which is rich in nutrients. Here goes black cow manure and all sorts of additives which I will add later. And rose loves to have water. Rose does love to drink a lot, and if we have soil which dries fast, doesn't retain moisture, that will be also bad for the soil. Again, because moisture leaves the pot much faster than the soil level, from the soil level. So for that matter, I'm going to add a little bit of good potting mix. And there's one thing when you want to repot your rose in the fall, make sure that potting mix is kind of used, because it has fertilizer in it. Your potting mix has fertilizer in it right now. So basically it's a sterile medium. It consists of all sorts of things to make it airy, fluffy. It adds the aeration. You see these white little things? It's a type of volcano glass, and what it does, it creates good aeration in the soil, so air has good access to the roots. And what roses love is good drainage, good air. So environment here in the pot would be great for rose to grow well, and that's what we want, right? So I'm going to mix this, probably I would say 20% of potting soil, good quality potting soil, preferably without fertilizer, because in the fall we don't want to add fertilizer to our rose. We want to make sure that our rose is going into dormant season, not getting extra food for it to start growing. This rose is going to be in my garage, so I don't want it to start growing late in the season. All right. You know what? I have to put the holes here in this pot. Let me see. There are 4 of them, which is very good. Okay. Excellent. Now I'm going to get cow manure. And of course, during the growing season, my rose will receive plenty of organic matter, because roses love all this good stuff. Well, let me just put this in. And the beginner gardener might just go to the shopping center, buy the potting mix and think, okay, that's enough for the plant to live year after year. Well, the problem with potting mix, you have to realize, it is sterilized, which is very good, because if you live in the area where there are a lot of pathogens in the soil, you don't want that to transfer into your pot. But on another side, potting mix is sterile and it doesn't have any nutrients in it. It's not soil, it's a potting medium. And fertilizer usually is introduced to it, which can help your plants to grow for first, 6 months? But then you have to supply fertilizers all over again. So I want that for the beginner gardeners to keep in mind. You can just go to the shopping center, garden center, buy potting mix and think that that's it. Plants can live there without extra supplemental fertilization after several months of usage. All right, I gave it a nice mix here. Hopefully everything is mixed well together. And you know what, at the beginning, like several years ago, it was a custom practice to put stones at the bottom of the pot. Now they don't recommend it. I was at the master gardening class and they said that actually the transition between the soil medium towards rock medium is hard for the water, so it accumulates at the bottom just before going into rocks. So it actually creates like a waterlogged condition, and now they don't recommend putting rocks at the bottom of the pot. I don't want to press too much, but I really don't want to make it light and fluffy for there to be air pockets in this container. Now it's going to be a headache to get this rose out of this pot because it has kind of narrow neck. Maybe oh yeah, it's going to be a headache. Come on, baby. Oh, she's so root bound here. I don't want to damage the roots of this rose. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. Poor thing. You know what? We have some good weather in October, so my rose will have time to adjust. Ooh, look at this. You see all the roots circling, not having space to go. So what are we doing? The good practice is to break them, to straighten them up, kind of. Otherwise, they're going to create this circular motion and they cannot get out of that kind of movement. It's too far. Okay. I want to center this rose. Now is a good time to make sure that your plant is at the center of the pot and it's kind of straight. My rose was a little bit twisted. So during the potting time is a good time to correct that growth angle. And during next several weeks, watch the level of the soil in the pot, because it will settle, and make sure that you're ready to add more if you need to. I have a feeling settling here would be quite a lot because it's a big pot. You can see I am not filling the soil all the way to the rim of the pot because I want to be able to water my rose and for the water not to spill out. Also, I'm going to put, for heat control and evaporation, I'm going to cover this pot with ground cover, probably bark of trees, eventually. Alright, that's it. And now we have to give our rose a good soak, let Rose get adjusted to her new home, and hopefully in 2 months our baby Rose will go into the garage for winter hibernation. Maybe not in 2 months, maybe a month. Yeah, October, the beginning of October, maybe in the middle of November, something like that. Although now we are officially zone 7A, you know, so we're getting warmer and warmer here in Connecticut. So we will see when our next strong frost will be. And usually when we are ready to bring the rose into the garage, oh, here's the doggy, is after a first really good frost, when the temperature goes below 0 Celsius or 25 Fahrenheit, and then rose will not resprout back into the garage. In the garage, it will go into dormant stage, and that's the time when to move the rose into the garage. But I will be showing you how I am doing it with this rose. I'm going to wait for the water to settle in, and then I will water it again. And the big settling is happening during watering. This is the sunniest spot on my porch. Sun usually goes behind the house and then the shadow moves in, but here shadow kind of moves the latest here. So my rose, it's not going to tip, is it? No. My rose is going to get plenty of sun here. And one more tip: move your rose first and then water, because I watered it first and made it so much heavier. So it took 2 people to move this rose here to this location. And my rose is ready for its new home. My dear gardeners, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.